I would like to welcome you again to another interview. I've been doing a series of interviews, interviewing people of purpose, those pursuing and doing all of those things in life that many of us discuss, and yet I'm hoping that these provide inspiration for each of us as we continue to move forward the dynamic, the behind the scenes of what it takes to keep moving, to keep pursuing, avoiding those phases of stagnation in life where we settle. Today, I am interviewing Mary DeGraw. Mary wears many, many hats in life. Mary and I have known each other for quite a few years. 14?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. For 14 years now. We were neighbors 14 years ago is how we met. And Mary has been an incredible asset to my life ever since then, in all honesty. And Mary is a cat mom. So she has, I'll let her discuss her current cat situation. But Mary, could you please describe yourself, your personalities, your strengths?
That's a loaded question, huh? Start off the gate quick. We're in a race. So my name is Mary DeGraw. Tanya already said that. And I have a little bit of a unique experience in general. I moved around a lot as a kid, so I don't know if I would ever say that I have like a home base. And so I'm currently based out of Gulfport, Mississippi, and love the water. Tanya and I live next to each other in Montana, and I couldn't handle the snow anymore. So that's why I decided I had to change that situation.
It's a form of water.
It is a form of water. You're right. It is the form that I do not like. Snow and ice are not my favorite forms of water. I would even rather steam. So anyways, yeah. So I'm based out of Gulfport, Mississippi, where I have kind of restarted a life, I guess you would say, as an adult, and loving it so far. As Tanya mentioned, I am a cat mom, and that is the only kids that I am planning to ever have, because I have great friends and family who all have kids, and I can enjoy them for periods of time and then send them home after I have loaded them up with sugar and with no nose, and let their parents deal with that resolution at the end. But I currently have 4 cats and love them to death. And then I also work for a animal rescue in Mississippi, and I am fostering for that rescue, and I have an additional 5. So I have 9 cats running around my house right now, and it gets a little crazy. So I apologize in advance. You already saw one walk across the keyboard. They've realized it's a nice heating pad, and so they have warmed up to it, literally, and sit on it all the time. So I will try to keep them out of our shots as much as possible.
It's okay. If they come in, feel free to introduce them.
Okay. All right. Coco's a little shy. You only see his side view, but it's a good one. So yeah, I'm a cat mom. I volunteer a lot at a local animal or cat specific rescue, because I am that crazy cat lady. And I actually am a software trainer. That is my real 40-hour-a-week job. And should I keep going? Like, is that kind of the introduction that you want?
No, keep going.
Okay.
Because your 40-hour job is just a very small portion of
what I like
who you
to
are and all you do. Yeah.
Okay. And so besides that, that's only the 40 hours that I get paid for, and then everything else is the fun part of life. So the cat rescue, I make cards, like greeting cards, handmade cards. I do that on the side. I sell Rodan and Fields on the side. I sell Pampered Chef on the side. So I have all these little side gigs that I enjoy doing. When I have spare time, I will pick up a book here and there and do some reading. We have admittedly done some binge watching on Netflix of a few different shows, but I claim that that's my cuddle time with the cats if they'll come anywhere close to me at the end of the day. And yeah, so I'm having fun. Actually, I've been in Gulfport, Mississippi for 4 years, and I'm just still feel like I'm learning what to do with that time and the environment. So meeting people and like actually introducing myself at the gym that I go to on a regular basis and things like that. So I don't know, was that enough? I think I missed quite a bit of what you asked me to introduce myself on. Oh, personality. I would say if I have to define myself, I am a type A personality. I love structure. I love my calendar. I schedule in appointments all the time. And people are like, why are you pulling out your calendar? We just said we would get together tomorrow. And I'm like, look, if it's out on my calendar, I never even talked to you. I have no idea what just happened. So yeah, I'm very structured. I'm excited that I actually came off of paper, and I freaking live on the phone, which unfortunately is electronic, but for a lot of people with screen time, it's terrible, but I'm addicted to it. And so, yeah, I have a tendency to write a lot of things down. I have notes everywhere. It helps me remember things. So I also feel like people would describe me as one of those people who and like the random bits of information, things you don't need to know in life. I know it. Like, for example, that your most clothing is 7 SPF. So you add 7 SPF when you're outside if you're wearing clothes. So those are the kind of things that I pick up and retain. I don't know. I didn't even write that one down. I just read it somewhere. But so yeah, type A. I know that Tanya has finished working on this book here. Let me see if I can get the right one, Raising Wild Ones. And
I'm so honored that you have a copy of that and a paperback copy. Oh my goodness.
I had it tagged. I had it tagged. I was buying it the minute I could. It took me a little while to be able to actually get a hard copy of it. So yeah, I'm so excited. So I'm in the midst of reading this book and trying to figure out what energy I'm at. I feel like life has kind of shoved me around a little bit. And so I don't know which one I actually am. But I do know this. I am not a 2 because Tanya is a natural 2, 100%. The description that I read in the book, I was like, yep, that's a Tanya. Before they even knew that was Tanya's name associated. So, but yeah, so. And like I said, so my reading list is very odd. Here's clicker training your cats, because I have 4 of them, right? And so I'm like, let's do some like fun stuff.
And you've toilet trained cats before too.
Toilet trained cats, yeah. I haven't tried it with these crew yet, but that's because I got them all at different times. I'm trying it over. Yeah. Total Cat Mojo also explains I am a cat lady. I really am. So it is what it is. But there's my reading book list. But yeah, like I don't know. Type A personality. I don't know. Anyone would probably say I'm a leader. Most people would say I'm extroverted. But when you do a Myers-Briggs test for me, I actually am introverted. And then I ride basically that Myers-Briggs line all the way down until you hit to, I think the last letter is a P or a J, which is perception or judgment. And I definitely am a judgment, not a perception. So it's the only one I slid really far one way or the other. But yeah, I don't know. So people,
I'm an INFJ, if I remember.
INFJ. Oh, okay, J. Yeah. So since I slide down the center, I get a kind of pick based on the definition. So I ended up being an INTJ. Maybe it's the INT. Yeah. So, gosh, we're kind of close to it. You're an INFJ. Interesting. Oh, yeah. That's so wow. Okay. So not only do we have to go on energies from like the Raising Wild Ones, but the Myers-Briggs too. So I don't know. I guess that kind of sums it up. I'm one of 3 remaining children in a family of 6, and I don't know. My parents are one of those actually amazing ones in this day and age. They're still married. They're getting ready to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations to them. I adore your parents. I really do in every way.
I mean, I may be a little biased, but I feel the same way.
They are pretty fantastic.
Oh, people ask like, how was your childhood? How's your family relationships? And I have to give it to my parents. Like, I loved my childhood. I don't ever recall like the debates and the worries they had. I know we weren't the richest kids, but like rich to me was Bill Gates. I mean, I always had food. I always had clothes. Like,
right. It didn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I had one of those I was thinking of the word and I lost it. I get blessed childhoods. And life really, I feel like I've had a lot of great experiences, and I don't know if I would, when I reflect back, say that there was a whole ton of struggle there. I always had what I needed and was lucky enough to have support. So yeah.
Right. That's really a key there, though, right? Being able to support each other.
Yeah, I think it is. You have to, because as you kind of stated earlier, your hope was to put together some of those key pieces for what allows people to continue to progress or move. Before getting in our interview, it was like, what are some of those pieces that allow people to make the choice or the decision that they're going to make that unrealistic step, or they're going to try something that is just unheard of. It's non-conventional. And that's support is a key. May not be fine. It doesn't have to be financial support. It doesn't have to be a physical
not at
support.
all. And it often
right?
isn't financial support. It's often just that person standing behind you saying, hey, I think you got this.
Yeah.
I got it. Take a step.
Do it. Because we'll be there to help catch you on that trust fall if you have to come backwards a little bit. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you have, like, in your business life, you have so many aspects pulled into it right now, with 3 businesses.
Yes.
On top of your regular job, on top of your volunteering. How do you accomplish all of these things, right? And you mentioned that you're very organized, and having a calendar. You should see my calendar for 8 people. I would love a paper calendar, and yet the idea that I can say, yes, repeat this on this days in this color. Everybody has their own color, plus different businesses have this color on our calendar, and so our calendar it's beautiful. It is so colorful. So how do you? I mean, obviously the organization is integral. But in terms, like, there's a lot of just daily motivation that has to go into being able to get up and saying, I'm going to do these 200 things today, rest and repeat. How do you stay organized enough, motivated enough to stay on top of these things?
I couldn't even imagine your calendar. I look at mine some days and I'm like, there's more like full day events on my calendar. I have to scroll down like what feels like 3 pages. I couldn't imagine adding like one person to it, much less 8. So funny enough though, I am like you, and everything is color coded. Like a different volunteer work I do, each job has a different color, depending. And then of course with Microsoft Outlook, because that's the application I use for work for my real job. It has, all your busy, tentative, out of office, all that stuff. So man, mine is like lit up like a freaking highlighter, 300 highlighter count from Walmart. So I do love that. And I love seeing the different colors. So weird. It's sometimes fun to look at my calendar and be like, oh, look at all the different colors on there. I don't know.
It's so pretty. There's so much going on.
Pretty. I can live with pretty. So yeah. And I think motivation is hard, right? Because everybody's different. So for me, I know when I'm having one of those days where I'm looking at or I just heard, quote, my alarm clock go off, and I'm like, geez, today's going to be tough. I have like a headache, or random little note. And just for public viewing, I did break my neck in a car accident a couple years ago. So there's some days I wake up and I'm just like, gosh, I wish I didn't have to move. So on those days that are just a little bit tougher, the key that I know gets me going, one is that I have 4 cats who are they require something of me every day. It is somewhat like having a person in the house. They need me to feed them because everything is locked up otherwise. So that is in general motivation to literally get out of bed. Once I get out of bed, then start with a great cup of coffee, or start with something that I know is just going to be an enjoyment piece for me. I have gotten addicted to those boosted teas. I don't even know if they have them in Paris, Tanya, but they have them in America all over the place.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about. What is a boosted tea?
Oh my God. It's like, what are you missing? This is the package that won't show up in 2 days. You'll know it's gone. Customs ticket.
Somebody else, confiscated it.
It's another way for me to spend more money than I should on a cup of on something that gives me caffeine, basically. But it's like this flavored tea, and you can jump it up with different things. Like you could add like collagen or protein or B12 or vitamins or a plethora of things. But it's a caffeinated flavored tea, and I love sour stuff that kicks me in the mouth when I eat it. Key lime pie is a perfect example. Like when you get that, like, ooh, that punch in your face. I love that. So they make a lot of flavors like that, and so I have them in my cupboard ready to go when I need something sour that's just going to kick me in the face real quick in the morning, along with coffee. And for me, sometimes it feels like it's a little long term, but if a day that's tough to wake up, get out of bed, and I don't get to do anything with cats, like the cat rescue or fundraising, or I don't have like a live event that I'm doing for my Pampered Chef or Rodan and Fields, then I know that there is something later in the week probably. And so those are the real key things that I look forward to really doing. I enjoy doing live events. I love getting up in front of people and showing them something, like giving them, like passing on information, like the 7 SPF. So those are exciting. Helping with the cat rescue, I enjoy it dearly. It is something that I try to do something at least once a week at the minimal, to give me that little punch of, this is something that I love to do. Like
that motivation to,
so yeah, in general. And then honestly, again, like I said, I feel like sometimes people are like, well, what's your struggle? And I'm like, I don't know if I really have a struggle, because I love consulting. So that's what I do for my real job, right? Again, it's the ability for me to share information. And I get to help people every day at work fix something, move data around, minimize their business processes or things like that. I enjoy helping people, I guess. And cats.
Do you ever feel an emotional burnout, right? Helping people perpetually can, I would imagine at some point, could kind of draw on you.
Yeah, I think I do. And so I know you and I have personally talked about this a couple of times. And so I'd love to bring it up. I'll bring it up again, because I think I utilize the new year, as everybody does, for that quote New Year's resolution, right? Everybody's expecting it in certainly in America. People are expecting you to say, what's your New Year's resolution? And everybody has a great little answer on January 1st. Now, January 2nd, who knows? Half the people have already blown it. No big deal. Right. But I do kind of use at least the January 1st as like a restart for me. And so oftentimes, typically winter months are tough for me. I probably have some seasonal disorder. I don't know, but I do love heat. I love sun. And so the minute that starts to shorten, with even just the days being shorter in the winter, I know that I struggle a little bit more. So I use the winter time to really reflect on the past year and what I want to do next year. What's going to give me drive next year to keep going? So my New Year's resolutions are, what do I need to give up because I'm either overwhelmed or I'm not getting what I want or need out of X? Is Rodan and Fields still giving me what I originally joined for as a consultant? Am I helping people where I want to help them? And so each part of my life, I go through that evaluation towards the end of the year, so that in January 1st, I have something really great to share. And So yeah, I know that's how I deal with it on an annual review, right? Kind of,
Yeah.
again, here's the
I think
business
that's
concept.
beautiful to have a regular annual review of what are the things I'm putting time and effort into, and am I reaching the goals that I had expected, hoped for, anticipated? If not, is it time to prune that bit away? Um, that's a really impressive way to organize all of that, because a year is a notable amount of time to really pour your efforts into something, and then
Right.
and to also know when to cut the cord there.
Yeah, right. I would agree. And so I will admittedly say that there are some things that I know I've held on to probably longer than I should have. When you're looking at a business perspective.
Right.
So all of that ultimately has to balance. And again, we're in that discussion of how do you balance? I don't know. Everybody's different, right? Your balance is going to be different for every single person.
Yeah, it has to be what works for you, what works for all the irons that you have in the fire, all the directions, the things you find fulfilling, the things that have to get done just because they're a part of reality, right?
Yeah. Right.
The litter box cleaning part of it, right?
I need to get them on that toilet quick, really quick. Man.
Right.
But it is so true. And literal it's great for me because I'm a cat mom, right? That makes it easy. But literally everybody's life has that litter box that has to get cleaned out.
It does. So, and the flip side of that is that the litter box comes with the fact that you have cats around you that you love, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right. There's always the positive with the negative, and you have to weigh, well, is this the positive that I really want? Is this the choice that I want to make? And yet here's the reality part that comes along with any choice that we make. And it's just what it is. Why did you choose, like we discussed kind of how you had a season in life in Montana, right? Now you're down in Gulfport. You had previously been elsewhere. So why did you choose, like, amongst moving around, you were in New Jersey for a while. I don't know. How do you, this path that professionally as an entrepreneur, why did you choose this path?
Gosh, that's a good question. If we just look at the physical part of it, and it's interesting you ask right now, like this interview is so wildly timed because I'm hitting my 4th year in Mississippi. And almost growing up, being an adult and moving and living in different places, it was almost a 4-year mark everywhere. So every 4 years we were moving as a kid for various reasons. And that literally transpired. So I graduated from high school and I went to college, 4 years, moved again to work on my master's. It was a 3-year time slot there, I think. Maybe it was just 2. Then I got married, did a couple years elsewhere in a couple of other locations, Florida, Missouri, and then went back to Montana, I think, on a divorce, as a result of a divorce. And I spent almost 10 years based out of Bozeman, which was the longest time I'd ever lived anywhere.
Was it that long?
It was that long. But here's why all of a sudden, when I think about that, I'm like, no way. And you know what? It actually wasn't. It was only 9. So I spent 4 years, I think. I spent maybe 4 years there, moved to New Jersey for a year with a new job. And it was really just an opportunity. I took that. I had gotten myself actually into a really cool niche where I was able to connect my degrees, which was computer programming and higher ed administration. And so I got that connection when I was at Montana State University, which is where Tanya and I met. I mean, not at the university, but I was working at the university when Tanya and I met each other. And and then got connected with the company who builds the software that I was working at Montana State. which led me to New Jersey. And so that was just sheer wild random event. I feel like it just kind of landed in my lap. And then after a year of being in New Jersey, I was able to move anywhere because I had moved into a traveling position at that point. And so I came back to Montana, literally to Tanya's house, and, and did another, I think like 7 years, 9 years, between 7 and 9. But I was traveling for work almost every week. And so it didn't feel like I was actually there. So that was the longest place I'd ever stayed anywhere. And it actually freaked me out because I was never going to be that person. Like I hate being cold. You guys I literally can't express this enough. I hate being cold. I don't even like walking down the refrigerated aisles of grocery stores. Promise you. Preaching to the truth. I hate it. I hate being cold. So yeah, couldn't believe my mind when I put that timeline together. So anyways, and with that with that fact in my head, like Montana was a great place for me for so many reasons. One, I got to meet Tanya, and that's been amazing addition, her whole family, to my life. And I got to spend time with my family. My brother's still up there with his family, so I got to really create some of those bonds. But physically was a terrible location for me because I really just dislike cold weather so much. So I knew I needed to come south. And when the opportunity struck, again, it was just there was a job opening that I was able to take, and the company paid for my move. I took it and moved to Gulfport, Mississippi. So yeah. So it was, so physically, when you look at those moves, some of them just randomly happened because I grabbed an opportunity for work. And this last move to Gulfport was because it was a job opportunity quote that came with the ability to get, for them to pay for my move. Let's be honest, because it's expensive to move and I don't want to do it by myself anymore. Give me a break. Man, oh my word. Moving those beds and stuff.
I moved to a new continent. Talk about this.
That's not how I want to spend my time. Ultimately, not how I want to spend my time. That's a lot of effort.
So right now you're in the position of determining, what the next 1/4 years is going to look like, which
true. Yeah.
Are you veering left? Are you veering right? Are you plunging ahead?
Yeah. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting because up to this point, it's always usually been very easy decision makers that have helped, right? Like it's been a job change, or it's been a company change, or like the Montana to Mississippi, it's been a temperate change. And this is the first one that, internally, I know that it's time for a change. I'm unsure what that change looks like. I do know that in the new year, some of my resolutions, I already know some of those. So I'm excited about those changes. Again, I don't know if I should say them here. I haven't necessarily published them all yet, but I'll be letting certain things go, and I'll be keeping certain, side gigs going. But and again, some of that's just the energy renewal. I'm not getting out for me some of those goals that I was looking for. So letting some of it go and see what new things can come into my life when I let
making space. Yeah,
making space. That's a great way to put it. Hello, making space. But yeah, so and then I'm hitting my 4-year mark in a location also in Gulfport, Mississippi. And when I moved here, I was like, oh, I'm staying here forever. This is where I'm going to retire. This is where I'm going to retire. This is where I'm going to be forever. And I'm not quite sure anymore if that's going to be the reality of it. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with location wise yet, but we'll see. I guess I'm open to see what kind of comes in during 2023. And it was so funny because I met a financial planner about 5 years ago, and I laid out to her what my plan was, like my forever plan, my retirement plan. In 15 years I want to retire. And she was like, Mary, I love that you have a plan, but the reality of life is that chances are in 5 years, this goal or this plan is going to be out the window. And I'm like, no, No, it's not. No, it's not. Because in 15 years, this is what I'm gonna be. This is where I'm gonna be. This is what I'm gonna have done. And she's like, okay, 5 years, Mary. It's about a 5-year cycle. And I'm like, it's been 5 years. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna stay in Gulfport, but that was gonna be my retirement gig. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this anymore, but that was my plan. So just as an FYI, my plan is still to retire in about 15 years because I want to enjoy retirement. But that's more of a financial issue more than a location issue or what you're doing with your other time, right? Like,
Right.
So, but yeah, it was really funny. She was like, 5-year cycle. Every 5 years, you never know what you're gonna do. You could wake up tomorrow and your life be totally different. Who knows? But and I was like, nope, it's gonna be like this.
2 years ago, I did not know that I would be on this continent. Right? We had vague ideas of what we would like to do, and then the opportunity presents itself, and it says, and you look at it and you say, okay, maybe now is when we put this plan into action.
Yes. Yes.
Seizing those opportunities. So on that note, is there anything that you have had on like a long-term plan that you've had to put on the back burner that you still have out there of, I really want to accomplish these things that you've just kind of had to push off while other, whether it's 40-hour-a-week job, those kinds of things had to take priority.
Anything that I've put on the back burner for other things. Gosh, I am trying to think. That's a good question on the back burner. So I don't know if it was far on the back burner, but I did, close to maybe 20 years now. I went to a seminar and it was talking about, put your bucket list together, right? Don't wait till towards the end of your life to put your bucket list together, but work on it now. Why not, right? Because you're supposed to be
exactly.
So I remember putting a bucket list together, and one of the items on the bucket list was to write a book. And I didn't know what it was like there was no topic in my head. There was nothing, but it was like, oh, why not? I mean, I have some unique experiences. I'm a twin, so I have that unique experience that not everybody does. Generally, when they say, if you want to write anything, blog, website, book, magazine, or whatever, be it on a topic that you know something about. So, okay, I was like, I'm a twin. Okay, that's fine. I came from, I don't know if it wasn't a huge family, but it was one of the larger size families when I was growing up in the 80s or 90s of 4 kids and my parents. So there were 6 of us. We were certainly one of the bigger families of the families that I knew at the time. I loved cats, pretty much, I feel like forever. So I was like, it could be something about cats. It could be, I don't know. But it was just on a bucket list. Like maybe if I get to it, I get to it, whatever.
Right. At some
point. And then so a couple years ago, I started researching how much it would cost to write a book. And I was like, ooh, sheesh, that's kind of, for someone who's just coming out of the gate, not really sure if that's really what you want to do. Like, I'm not making this career. I just kind of want to see what happens. I was like, it's a lot of money to invest. So kind of sat there for a while and I was didn't really, did I have a topic at that point? Not really. I didn't have a topic still. Then life event, bam, happened. And I was like, wait, I could do this. This is my topic. Like this is a topic I could write about. And I could swing it into having cat characters instead of human characters. So that's where the topic of the book came from. Again, we know that I'm a cat lady. I don't know how many times you're going to count how many times I said cat in the video by the end, probably. Someone leave a comment with the number because it's going to be impressive. So I said, okay, now I'm going to do it. I'm going to at least write it. So I wrote it. And then financially, it was still like, I can't figure out how I'm going to manage that in my budget.
Right.
So then I got a new job and I got a raise. And so that's where my raise went, was to work on this book and work on getting it published. So I just sent off the final approval for it to start getting created. And
congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited. It was an experience, and I still don't know if I'll do it again, but it was an experience, and it was fun. It was fun to put together.
When will it be released?
So it should be released in the new year, 2023,
Okay.
probably in January. So I just missed the cutoff for Christmas. But it's with Fulton Books, and the title is going to be Authentic Adventures of Baxter and Fridley, building a friendship. So it's Authentic Adventures of Baxter and Fridley, building a friendship. And for the little historical life event that happened, Baxter and Fridley were my first two cats that I had as a grown-up, like in my own space, and actually got them both.
Shredded toilet paper.
Yes.
I cleaned it up so many times.
All the time, man. They loved it.
Sorry, go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, no. Well, because Tanya got to meet both of them, and they both passed within a month of each other. I think it was my second year I was in Mississippi, so it was just kind of everything culminated at the right time. And I was like, wait. So it's kind of like in honor of my two little guys who are no longer here, and but the building a friendship, the concept is like to show kids, it is a children's book, different things that they can do to help learn how to build friendships, which isn't necessarily easy for everybody.
No.
And certainly kids, when you throw them into a room or a situation where there's a lot of stimuli going on, and how to calm that down a little bit. So yeah, I'm excited. So I don't know, it wasn't on the back burner for too long, but
I'm excited. I'm excited to read it, to see it. Where will we be able to find it?
So there will be a virtual. I live in a virtual world. It will be, you'll be able to get it on, I think, Amazon. What is Amazon's thing? Amazon Reader? The Kindle, there's a Kindle version. There's going to be, I think, a Google Play version. And then it will also be actually in the ability to have a hardcover or soft cover. And I don't know where they distribute, but when I get those details, I'll add a comment onto our video here so we at least keep it going. So, but yeah, so it'll be electronic version and hard copy. So.
I love back burner items, especially when they come to fruition, right? Because it's usually the ones that stay on the back burner for a long time, right? Or even not necessarily a long time, but this was an idea that culminated for you long ago.
Yes.
And had slowly had the correct pieces integrated into it to create what it was going to have to look like. But I love when they come to fruition, especially the ones that have hung in there. Right? Because sometimes we throw something on the back burner and 5 years down the road, you think, oh, yeah, that one's not there anymore. I'll let that one go.
Exactly. That annual evaluation kind of, well, for me, I call it the annual evaluation. Is that still going to be something that you aim for or not? And actually, so one of them, I remember when I was growing up, I always, well, not always, I didn't even know this was a possibility, let's be honest. But when I was going through college, I remember thinking, I went to an all women's college. It was something in my head I knew I wanted to do. That was where I was going to go to college. It was an all women's college, and I did it. And the president for the school was just amazing. I thought she was the coolest thing in the world. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the president of an all women's college. Like, that is going to be my goal. So, I got a computer programming degree from that school. That doesn't even make any sense. But then I went to work on my master's, and that was my intention. I was going to ultimately get a doctorate so I could, figure out how to become this president of a higher ed of a higher ed school. And eventually that wasn't, all of a sudden it was like, nope, that's not where I want to be. I don't want to, and for many things, again, it's that energy, it's that motivation. I didn't want to have to manage people like that. So hello, that's what she did. And that's not the awesome pieces I got to see about her job, but that is what she did in reality, right? I didn't, and then it ultimately came down to I didn't want to have to, continue sitting in a classroom and do things like that. But yeah, there is that point in time where I remember thinking, that was my goal. Everybody thought that's what I was going to do, and I was like, no, and I was okay with letting it go. It's not where I was going to find that drive. So
it's so important to know or to accept when it's the right time to let things go and embrace what's coming, as opposed to trying to drag it along.
Yeah, just to drag it along, because that's really all you're doing. And to make the point for what most people believe you have one life to live on this earth, and why not live every minute if you can, every minute, certainly the mass majority of your time, doing something that gives you joy. I mean, why?
Right.
Why otherwise? What are we here for?
It's so true. It is so true. Why, yes, truly live the life that you're living in every way. Utilize your opportunities and when the opportunity to sit and read a book presents itself, sit and do that, because those are important opportunities too. They add so much to our human experience.
It's true. And honestly, Tanya, not to keep belaboring this point, but you and your family have probably were the biggest piece of that realization, which I will just love you forever for, because I remember walking into your house so many times and you guys were just chilling, just quiet, and people had books, or they were drawing, or they were working on their musical instruments, whatever. But in general, it was quiet, and it was just like, what? In our house, we were always bustling and running around, and there was always something else to do. So you had to finish what you were doing, and so you could move on and cross that next checkbox off. But for your house, it was the checkbox is literally the ability to be calm, cool, and collected, and enjoy it.
And enjoy it. And yet when we play hard.
Yes, for sure. Oh my gosh, for sure. Yes. Yeah. Yes, you do. Playing, camping, and hiking, and moving to a different country, biking.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Holy jeez. Yes.
So we can scavenge the city to try to find books in English.
And realize the statistics on getting mail through to France. Yes.
Right. That's challenging. Don't order books from England. Nothing against England. Customs is very thorough here. Yeah.
Customs. Gosh, customs.
So, on the note of literature, though, right? I love literature. I love so many genres of literature. Its ability to inspire, to educate, right? To teach.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite, or maybe a list of favorite in books that have left an impact on you?
Yeah. I'm actually glad that question was phrased that way, Tanya. So thanks for that phrasing. Because I was struggling in an attempt to be prepared, because usually I have a tendency to ramble, as you've noted at this point already. That one of the questions I was trying to prepare for was, what's your favorite novel and why? And I struggle to even think of a novel that I read. Last time I read them was a requirement, probably for an English class somewhere. And because I realized that those weren't the books that I gravitated towards. So most of the books that I do read are quote, what we term self-help books, or real life, true based stories. And so I was struggling with that question. Thanks for the rephrase. Now that everybody has more history about what the original question was, doesn't even make it great. But one of the books that I've actually have kept in my bookcase in all of my moves since I read it was, Eat, Live, and Love. Eat, Live,
Pray, Love.
Eat, Pray, Love. Sorry. Thank you. Gosh, I'm so glad. Yeah, even though it's in my bookcase, can't even remember the title. Geez Louise, I swear. So yes, Eat, Pray, Love. And I came across that book probably at a pivotal point in my time, because I do know that it was as I was coming through a divorce. That's part of what the book is about, is that that transition time. But it held more to me than just the divorce perspective, because in that book, Elizabeth talks about the desire was to spend a year basically trying to find herself, do that self-evaluation and figure out what her next move was going to be. And not to disagree with her, it felt like very posh. I don't know many people who could have the lifestyle or the ability to take a year in 3 different countries to figure that out. And I'm sure she was working in between. You just don't read that in the book. But that book has stuck with me since I've read it. And again, I think it's the evaluation. It's the internal process of pigging through all of your different options. Am I where I want to be physically, emotionally? Am I getting the rewards out of what I'm doing appropriately based on energy, the energy I'm outputting, and the reward I'm getting back? And I think that's honestly where I started this annual review of myself, is kind of like, am I putting my energy where I want it, and am I to get back what I need? So yeah, that's probably it. Eat, Pray, Love. Gosh, I'm glad you came up with the title. I was totally off. But
it's a great book. It really is.
It is a great book. Gosh, I fell in love with it. It's one of those. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and just that you pointed out that idea that she does. I mean, she inspires you to say, I have a choice here. I have power of choice. I can choose this, and I can do these things. And well, it does come across that maybe her monetary situation is not what it might be for everybody. There's still the power of choice. And we can be in a situation and say, oh, well, I guess this is just what it is. Or we can say, actually, I'm not loving this. And this is what has to happen. This is what has to change. And to actually take the steps to analyze, to facilitate those changes. That's something that requires daily attention.
It is. And unfortunate that so many people don't take that chance, I guess, or don't take that time.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it's very easy to accept what comes our way, right? That this is just what it is, and to not always seize the opportunities that maybe we really do want to seize. It's always perfectly acceptable to bow out and say, actually, no, that's not the road for me. And we do probably more often than what we would prefer or realize, go by those open doors that we maybe had a stronger yearning to veer into. And we didn't, for fear of so many things. Yeah.
And I think in today's world, and again, I'm talking certainly from my perspective as an American person, we get so caught up in the expectation or the collection of items and things, right? Whether it's a physical thing or whether it's something that it's a title or it's, it's something that I have on my resume, but we're so consumed with having that collection of stuff that we walked past the opportunity of, even just having a conversation with someone you didn't know. Because it's so easy. One, it's so easy to do that on a regular basis. But those are the opportunities that all of a sudden just like ping, you have in the conversation that you walked past, You missed a bucket list item that you didn't even know lit a fire in your soul, or you missed the story of how this person went from, a $1 billion business to having a tent on the beach. I mean, there's so many things that you can learn there. And some by choice and some not by choice. Things happen all the time, but it's the ability to pick it back up. Anyways, rambling on.
I love it. The ability to discern, to evaluate, right?
Yep.
Oh, this person made this choice, and that would look great on my life. Or actually, I would consider this, but I prefer this. Yeah. Right? We have to be able to custom cater to our situation, to our wants, our desires, our aspirations, what motivates us, what fulfills us. Those things are so unique to each individual. And to compare ours to anybody else's it's not a comparison. There is no comparison.
There is no comparison.
Nope, you're floating two different boats.
Really, if you have to be one of those people, if you are one of those people who have to always be in competition, then be in competition with being the happiest, or having the most joy, or having one of those things. Not I have more in the bank, more items,
compete against yourself, right? Yeah. Oh, I defaulted to this comfort this many times. I'm going to rise above that, and next time I'm going to catch myself, and I'm going to make a different choice.
Yes. I love that. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what advice would you have liked to received in your life, would have been really an asset to you 10, 20 years ago? What was a big aha realization? Now for a disclaimer, I am aware that so many of the things that I have encountered in life are because their timing has been perfect.
Sure.
And at the same time, I have come across things where, for me, it was like, what? And all the while, Jake is like, I don't know how you've missed this the last 10 years.
Sure.
20 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, is there any bit of advice that you could give yourself 10, 20 years ago, or something that you felt to being able to live an empowered life would have helped you, would have been motivating 10 or 20 years ago?
Gosh, that's a great question. And off the cuff, I would say it's a phrase I've noticed I've said more now.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it would have been terrible timing had it come to me 10 to 20 years before. It would have been interesting to hear it. But money comes and goes. There's never enough of it. So don't make that the goal. That pairing of phrase would have been interesting to hear, because it's something I certainly feel more now. That being said, I am probably in the most secure financial spot that I've ever been. So, like I said, the timing would have been a little odd, because, 10, 20 years ago, I've been like, I just got a divorce. I have zero in my bank account. Like, I don't have a house. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't even afford food.
I don't even know where to live.
Yeah, thank God my brother got married to a wonderful woman, and she said she cleaned out a closet. I don't know what else I would have done. So I think the timing would have been weird, but it is something that I have come to realize recently, that I think if I hadn't been so concerned with a paycheck, I wonder where I would have been, or what things I would have done differently when the fork in the road came. So I know even now, I have my regular 40-week job. I have my goal to retire, and that's 100% financial purpose, like, of a goal set. But what lights me up more than anything is something that I will make no money at, but it would be helping cats. So one of those internal debates with myself now is, am I secure enough in knowing that things have a tendency to work out? Is it the right timing? But is it time to make that step to do more of what lights my soul on fire now, or to really still concentrate on that 15-year financial goal plan, right? There's the debate. So that's probably some of the reason that phrase is hitting a little bit home more often now than not. Would have been interesting to hear it 10 to 20 years ago to see what would have been different.
Right. Or even those little snippets that we do keep in the back of our mind. And when we're at the point of making a decision, to be able to weigh this, maybe this part of it is not as important as I thought it was, or maybe it's way more important than I thought it was.
Sure. Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Yeah. That's a big one. Right?
That's really good advice. It really is.
It's certainly something to think about.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, like, how many of us as we were growing up, I mean, money is so fluid in general. You really you can always make more of it. Go get the part-time job, go sell something, go whatever. But I mean, it just comes and goes. So being so tracked on that is interesting. And it was interesting. And I guess one of the other phrases that I come back to often is really the one from my financial planner. And that was 100% timing, probably, that it really stuck, is that 5-year rotation. It's just like
5 years.
Nothing in 5 years is going to be where you thought you were going to be, where your whole intention, your whole person is going to be in a completely different spot. So really the max you should plan for is 5 years. And she's coming to prove point there. I have to admit, like, it's been 5 years since I knew her. So,
oh my goodness. I look at where we were 5 years ago, right? We had a nice home that we had just completely remodeled, gutted and remodeled in Bozeman, Montana. And on the kind of a spur of the moment, right, said, okay, let's move to Denver. Here's an opportunity. I put the house up for rent, having just remodeled it. It was kind of heart-wrenching. That house was made of our blood, sweat, and tears.
It was beautiful too. Oh.
And we moved to Denver. We lived there for 2 years. Went back to Bozeman long enough to liquidate the house, and here we are a year later in France. So 5 years ago, if somebody said within 5 years' time, you will have lived in Denver for 2 years, lived in Paris for a year, I would have said, no way, not a chance.
Agreed. Yeah, even I wouldn't have. I mean, it was one of those on the bucket list in the background, like, maybe we'll see if it happens. And it had to do with your kids. It didn't even have to do with you. It was, well, if that's where it goes for the kids, then that's where it goes.
Yeah. So on the note of very inspiring things, as you know, or anybody who reads our website or our Marketing Ladies posts, right, we have a fascination with quotes for the little bits of wisdom, knowledge, experience they can implant into our daily lives. Do you have a quote you could leave us with?
Yes, I do. And I actually, because I'm addicted to buying stuff, I have it here, but it says, go confidently in the direction of your dreams, live the life you've imagined. And I think it's by Thoreau. So I don't even know. That shows up backwards, right? Like, I don't even know if you guys can
No, it's right on my screen.
Right? Okay.
Anyway.
So, but yes. And again, timing, life adjustments. This hit me, I think, right at the right time, but it has been in my hot little hands in some form of another for almost 20 years. So
I love that quote. It's a fantastic one.
Yeah.
And you're doing that. You're doing all of those things. Right? You're creating, progressing. Yes.
Yes. I love it. Yeah, I would like to think so. And when I'm having a tough day or I'm debating, it's like, hence why it is in a magnet form and it is on my fridge. Because when I like food. But I am generally always there. The kitchen is the heart of the home. And when I'm struggling with something, it's like, yep, it's right there in my face. So I would love to think at the end that I did go confidently with whatever decision I went with, but it was confidently, and I had a life that I am excited about.
Well, you're doing it. I love it. Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much for your time, your input, your perspective, your energy, your contribution, everything about you. I'm very grateful that you made this time to visit with me. Where can people find you? You have a book coming out. Can you send people to a website, a resource, anything of that sort?
Unfortunately for the book, I don't have anything available to give you right now, but I have a Facebook account, so just Mary DeGraw, and I have Instagram accounts, again, just Mary DeGraw. There is a themed cards Instagram account, and I will have a Instagram account for the book under my own personal area called Authentic Adventures. So yeah, hopefully that's enough. I can also add in comments again, just so that we can get traction on your video. But
well, in the and just so everybody knows, when you order from inspirephotoart.com, every order comes with a handwritten card, and those cards are made by Mary, themed cards. Yes, we love those. She made those special for us. So, well, we will be sure to, when your book comes out, yes, I will make sure to put it up on the Inspire Photo Art site so that we can direct people, because that is super exciting.
It is exciting. It's fun.
Yes. I can't wait. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Tanya.